John Fisher on the program.
How's it going?
And he's waving. And so there might be feedback because we're not using head. So Psalms 118 says, "Are you doing anything on Smokey? Well, send me suggestions." Sounds good. That's the crazy guy. And apparently he's a pedophile. There's a lot of people trying to post comments like this guy was arrested for pedophilia in California, and then YouTube keeps deleting those comments. And so probably not a good dude. Probably a pretty bad dude. I don't know. I didn't look into it. The moment thing. So Psalms 118 says, "Are you doing anything on Smokey? Well, send me suggestions." Sounds good. That's the crazy guy. And apparently he's a pedophile. There's a lot of people trying to post comments like this guy was arrested for pedophilia in California, and then YouTube keeps deleting those comments. And so probably not a good dude. Probably a pretty bad dude. I don't know. I didn't look into it.
Of alternative options, each of which are
between James White and William Lane Craig on whether Molinism or Calvinism explains God and evil better. Remember, and James White showed up to a debate. He didn't want the debate to actually be about that, so he just talked about other stuff. Didn't want to talk about that. And so these guys are Molinists, and they were responding to something that James White does, something like that. Maybe one of the James White coping videos. Remember, James White put out a video. He recorded the debate. Then he realized the debate's going to look really, really bad for him. And so then he put out a coping video to try to prime his audience for the letdown and to say he really won. So Psalms 118 says, "Are you doing anything on Smokey? Well, send me suggestions." Sounds good. That's the crazy guy. And apparently he's a pedophile. There's a lot of people trying to post comments like this guy was arrested for pedophilia in California, and then YouTube keeps deleting those comments. And so probably not a good dude. Probably a pretty bad dude. I don't know. I didn't look into it.
of alternative options, each of which are compatible with the creature's image of God nature. A creature who can make a choice that's described in 1 Corinthians 10:13. You know, if God has the power to create that kind of a creature.
118 says, "Are you doing anything on Smokey? Well, send me suggestions." Sounds good. That's the crazy guy. And apparently he's a pedophile. There's a lot of people trying to post comments like this guy was arrested for pedophilia in California, and then YouTube keeps deleting those comments. And so probably not a good dude. Probably a pretty bad dude. I don't know. I didn't look into it.
Of alternative options, each of which are compatible with
fat, ignorant fool. Lying. I cannot divulge what I know or what I do not know. Just said something very, very benign in passing, texts me and says, your disciple, yada, yada, yada. Well, I would suggest that my dear friend Chris should keep his disciple in check because he's slandering somebody, going off of the word of a man who sleeps in his race car bed, 35-ish years old, and still lives with his parents. Nick is wrong. He's lying. I cannot divulge what I know or what I do not know about what might be happening with particular people around the internet. But I can tell you this. You guys are devilish in your gossip against Smokey Saint. I cannot tell you the truth of whether or not it's him or a brother or a twin brother or a family member or might even be me. But you know what? I got a real good solution to all this. Smokey Saint repented of his pedophilia. We're supposed to, receive those who've repented of their murders and their child molestations. Now, I'm using hyperbole because it's nothing close to what you all think it is. And let me just say this, my father-in-law and my father would both be in Smokey Saint's condition if I was conceived around this time. Me Too movement, people. You know how many good men have suffered? Instead, we should actually have some sort of U2 movement, meaning where they've been falsely accused. I've been falsely accused. Someone actually called the director of missions for the Southern Baptist Convention and told the director of missions, of whom was over the association where I pastored, that I was a homosexual man and I made passes on this fat, ignorant fool. So I know how the enemy works. He likes to take rumor, innuendo, and he loves to keep on throwing it out there. So CJ, you're either not saved, brother, or you're actually engaged in horrendous sin and you're too immature to know it. I'm pissed, y'all, and I'm tired of this nonsense that I see here on YouTube. Or you're actually engaged in horrendous sin and you're too immature to know it. I'm pissed, y'all, and I'm tired of this nonsense that I see here on YouTube. We have a bunch of eunuchs running around. In the Old Testament, a eunuch was not allowed to serve in the temple. Why? Because their stature is dwarfed. Millennial men, I sat as long as I could handle it with a bunch of young punks that double, triple, quadruple down, octa down on their error, their foolishness, their stupidity, their lack of critical thinking skills. Mr. Greasy is one of them. And until that fool actually decides to humble himself, I will be his quote unquote enemy. And I'm tired of it. This is a true story. Sometime back, they had a bunch of young bull elephants that were killing all of the rhinos and just wreaking havoc around the community, calm with unity. And they were just immature, foolish. They didn't have any discipline. They didn't have any training. They didn't have any quote unquote mentorship or discipleship. So what was the solution? They brought in an old male bull who was tired of a bunch of the young punks crap. This young bull happened to have a ponytail. Just kidding with that one. But what did they do? They brought in a mature male bull elephant to kick those young bulls' butts, or to kick the young bulls' asses, because they were out of line, out of control, actually feeding off one another's delusion and their emotion. Remember in the previous stream? Here's the problem. People are run by their emotions. Smokey Saint has actually whipped everybody that's come against them, and they are so upset. I actually heard that Bruce was so excited that I had the key to take Smokey Saint down and was disappointed because, well, whatever. But the issue is this. Fools will continue to be fools. So maybe an older bull comes in here with an elephant, like an elephant, maybe, hung like an elephant, because I'm pissed off at you young bucks. And if you were in front of me, I'd kick the shit out of you. This needs to stop, guys. Stop it. Let me put it in some vernacular that you might understand. VeggieTales. Jonah. Stop it. Stop lying. Stop cheating. Stop being prideful. A message from the Lord. I should probably stop. If anybody wants to comment, add to it, I'm going to do it on another stream at this point. Maybe I can be talked into keeping it going now, because this is what I want. And I want those mature believers to come in and state what they see in some of these young fools and what they think that it might be doing to Christianity. Immature, a bunch of Christian eunuchs running around, wreaking havoc. They have no balls. They think that somehow love, oh, God is love. Oh, brother, truth doesn't mean anything. Oh, it's all about love. Let's love one another, people. That's the message of Satan himself. And if you take that up as your mantra, you're going to split hell right open. Yes, God is love. But God is also righteous. God is also holy. And he's not going to put up with this pansy Christianity that I see here on YouTube, especially. I hope that the church is not like what I see the Christian conduct and ethics on YouTube, because I have no hope for the churches. If these young men are our future leaders, they're a bunch of pussies. They're a bunch of naggers. They're a bunch of gossips, slanderers, devils themselves. You guys need to get a hold of your emotions, grow up, get some counseling or whatever you need to do, seek the Lord, and start looking at life from the perspective of reality, because you fools are really pissing me off. And don't think you can challenge me. If you come against me, I will destroy you intellectually. I'm just old enough to know more than you. Not smarter, I just know more. Because I've been at this for a long time. I've pastored for 30 years. And I'm frankly tired of the spiritual maturity of these spiritual eunuchs that I see all around me. These dwarfs. You guys are spiritual dwarfs. You suffer from spiritual dwarfism. You are so mad at somebody that's speaking the truth, who has discernment, and who actually wants sound doctrine. And you guys are a bunch of knuckleheads because you can't, for a minute, be logical, rational, pause for a minute, think. I was just like that when I was 25. And I tell you what, I wish I had an older man to come in and kick my ass, because I was a fool. I was stupid. I was self-righteous. And I did a lot of harm to the sake of Christ. So I speak from experience, people. Remember, you're talking to a man who has made more mistakes and has failed more times than any of you guys who are between 20 and 30. You guys need to live another 50 years to fail as much as I've failed. So this comes from actually somebody who the Lord has humiliated throughout life. And now it's my turn to focus some of my anger and humiliate you fools, because you frankly don't know what you're doing. You got your head up your butts. You are theological navel and butthole gazers, in my opinion. You embarrass me. You shame the cause of Christ. And let me tell you, this is righteous anger. I may not use some of the expletives that I should, but let me tell you, I'm a man that lives in this fallen world, and I'm sick and tired of the enemy using good Christian people, smart, lots of potential. CJ, you have lots of potential. Standing, you have lots of potential. And you guys are wasting it, squandering it, doubling down on foolishness. What is wrong with you? You guys are complete fools. Be shamed. You deserve to be shamed. Shame on you, CJ, for carrying a lie from the liar Nick, Mr. Race Car Driver. We're going to call him number 3. Go, Nicholas. Get him some warm milk. Give him his little Bible. Let him misinterpret it. Let him say stupid things, foolish things. The guy is a complete retard. Talking about Nick. CJ, you got lots of potential, man. You should probably spend a little time with my friend M. Scotty and see actually how a real young man conducts himself. A little rough around the edges, who cares? God will smooth that out in the future. But let me tell you, if any of you guys double down on your error, I'm coming after you, and it won't be fun, because I'll have a smile on my face as I slice and dice your intellectual dwarfism. I'm going to have to take a little bit of a break here. I'm going to end this stream, and then I'm going to come back in maybe 10, 15 minutes, but I need to calm down. I let myself calm down all day, because a little birdie told me that somebody is accusing Smokey Saint of being a pedophile. It's a lie from the pit of hell. You're a fool. Stop it. A message from the Lord. Sorry I have to talk to you guys like you're freaking babies. It's like playing poker with my sister's kids. Tombstone reference. But I tell you what, are you guys going to stand there and bleed, or are you going to do something? You need to skin that smoke wagon and go to work. You need to throw down or shut up, because now I have you in my radar. And unless you guys start being intellectually honest and stop being freaking self-righteous fools, you know what'll happen? I'll embrace you guys with tears in my eyes and hug you, saying, my ignorant, foolish son has come home. I speak to you guys as a father in the faith. You guys are making mistakes. You guys are making fools, utter and complete fools out of yourselves in the cause of Christ. You've self-appointed yourself as teachers, and yet you still should be students. Because it's very apparent you're not a student. You know what, if somebody that had education in an area that I didn't have, you know what I would do? I would shut up and listen. I wouldn't come out and say, oh, are you saying the King James Bible has errors in it? That is such stupid, ignorant, foolish nonsense. I'm going to call all you guys that say stupid stuff, you're just called greasy. Greasy colons to me. My goodness, people. What is wrong with you? R.C. Sproul's one of my mentors in the faith. I got to meet him once. Wrong with you, ignorant fools. And yes, I use the word fool. Oh, but did Jesus say if you call your brother a fool, you're in danger of hellfire? Well, I'm actually not even going to comment on that one. I'm going to let you guys do a little bit of homework and see what all of that actually means. Rightly dividing the word of truth has to do with the idea of cutting it straight. No nonsense. Don't veer off into stupid. Don't veer off into some dumb, plum dumb, or dumb dumb. And certainly don't be a dumb dumb booger. Because in the South, the booger is one of those people that are irritating. They poke at you, but you can't just frickin' get them out of your nose. They're irritating. They're slimy. They're dirty. They're disgusting. They're really, really stupid. They're like boogers. They don't seem to go away, and they're always coming back, poking, making it hard to breathe. CJ, you're a booger, dude. Standing, Donnie, you're a booger. Stop this stupidness. Man, Charles shows great maturity. As far as I know, he doesn't double down on stupid. He's the kind of guy, if you point out, you know, some truth to him, he'll embrace it. But oh no, you show some truth to these young eunuchs, and they want to double, triple, quadruple down on their ignorance, their inability to see the truth. They're blinded by pride and vigor. I mean, I can't shame you all. That passion's wasted on the young because you guys have no sense. As my dad used to say, you don't have sense, God gave a goose. The state of Christian ethics in the church today is shameful, and it's especially shameful on YouTube. You do realize that none of you have any ecclesiastical endorsement. Are any of you licensed, even by a small organization? There's nothing wrong with being a part of a small organization. I just happen to be Southern Baptist. We have 15 million members here in the United States. I'm ordained, set aside by the church as a teacher, officially recognized by God's people as a teacher. How many of you guys have one person who's spirit-filled, a person of prayer that has actually laid hands on you and said, yes, God has called this man? I suspect that most of you are self-called, self-deluded, self-deranged. self-deceived, and pridefully stupid. I don't really have all the specifics of what's been going on in this community. I don't follow you guys. I don't follow all the stupid. I don't have time for stupid guys. I'm trying to actually be a part of what God called me to. I don't worry about people who are Christians. I don't worry about my puritanical concepts that I actually need to get involved in somebody else's life. You guys actually need to be a Southerner, which is why I played the Charlie Daniels song. See, the problem is a lot of Christians today, they're descendants of the Puritans. Now, the Puritans loved to engage in making sure everybody was living righteously. It's that whole idea where actually at Liberty University, where I'm finishing up another PhD, I'm starting my dissertation here, where back when my cousin was the RA there, Arlie Rhodes, if anybody wants to verify what I'm saying, another RA came to him and literally asked if he would like to go out and catch some of the kids smoking. It'd be a lot of fun. I wish I could say some pretty derogatory things. I wish I felt free to actually cuss. Because that's the mentality that we have going on today. Oh, pedophilia. Wow, an ounce of evidence that is true. Oh, well, let's take down somebody who looks smarter, makes us look like fools. Let's